see it. The Modest Mouth is in the building. And in the building is We Are Live.
Hey, everybody. It's We Are Live. Chris Semin, Travis Terrell. Excited to be here in Midcoast Studio, Grand Center, St. Louis, Missouri. This idiot has a Modest Mouth t-shirt on. Thanks to By Jack for making that possible. You can purchase them online or something. We've got Travis Terrell here. It is Friday, and it's a holiday weekend. I keep forgetting.
Holiday weekends is gonna be no labor, though it's Labor Day. It's okay. You can work, you can eat, you can celebrate. But for all you who work full time, congratulations, you get a 3-day weekend. Wink.
I want to thank everybody for coming out to Happiest Hour last night. Packed house. Cannot believe it.
There's a dog even in there, Chris.
There was. Alonzo did a little time. He did one more, and he's going to get out of here. It was a good time.
He's on to Second City as well, Alonzo.
That's right. He's a hell of a performer. No, big thanks to Young Professionals at Gateway Pet Guardians as our featured partner. And thanks to everybody. It was packed, man. It was a good time. Sophie's bringing it back next Thursday. So Happy Hour 4, show at 6. Chris Gardner's here. He's also wearing a blue shirt.
Oh, come on.
What
does Chris Gardner wear?
Feels like 2008 all over.
What does Gardner wear? Hello, fellow Modest Mouth band member.
Hello, mate. Bandmate.
Yes.
We're bandmates.
Our mates are bands.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Walnuts. Happy Friday.
Oh,
Modest Mouth Friday.
it is. Chris, are you feeling it? Do you want to jump in on it? This is not, look, this train,
And MMF.
it's about to
Modest
take off.
Mouth Friday.
It is.
Okay.
Uh-huh. This train is taking off, my friend. It's on its way to Carnegie Hall. Do you want to jump aboard? Here's your chance, because once it's moving, it's gone.
I like to do the Sheldon first.
I mean, that's what I mean. I'm
Little
going for the
tune
top.
up?
I can do that. It's fine. What are you thinking? You got a little something out? You got something in your mouth? I know a few people around town who can tell us what's been in it.
No.
I'm talking about sex acts.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to jump in on
I'm
this?
all right. You guys, I think your best is a two-piece.
Okay.
I think you've got a real outcast situation going on here, and
you.
I'd hate to
We could
flavor
use,
my way into that.
We could use a percussionist at some point.
We
probably.
could. Maybe even a hype man.
There's
Can you hype,
something-
can you
In
hype
a
the crowd up?
No. In a mouth band, is it better to have a percussionist with no rhythm, just to add to the jazzy nature of your
I
performance?
see what you're saying.
Or do you need someone to drive the mouth bass lines with great mouth percussion?
It probably helps to have rhythm, just to have that foundation.
That would be
behind
good.
you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can always jazz it up without the rhythm, but it's important at some point that you have some type of rhythm in you. That generally helps when you're making what the kids call music.
Who said let the rhythm take over? Is that Gloria Estefan?
That's what I thought.
Maybe Ricky Martin, somebody from
Was
South
that
Beach.
that conga song?
Yep.
And I've been working on my Grammy speech because
You gonna try for an EGOT?
I think I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Because I can write a play, so that would give me the Tony. I can write a TV show that'll give me the Emmy. I can write a feature film that'll get me the Oscar.
Can you, though?
Yeah.
I can write a music album that'll give me the
question, Chris.
Grammy. So I would indeed be in a position to get an EGOT. I didn't think about that until right now. That's not what it's about, though, for me. It's never been about awards and
Oh, here we go.
you know,
Maybe
butt
put it on
naked
this
ass
camera.
women and things like that. It's never been about the beautiful women clinging onto my arm. It's never been about the 3, 4 Bentleys in the garage. It's about getting people out of their seat, making them feel good about themselves. And I feel like my mouth is capable of doing that. My mouth is capable of making people feel good. And that's kind of been my goal most of my adult life, using my mouth to make people feel tingly, to make people feel excited, to get people out of their seats. And so I'm just happy to be in a position where my mouth can do the talking. So happy. So happy. How did you enjoy yesterday's festivities? I also hear there was a pop-up at Gaslights.
Yeah, we did a little pop-up show after the happy hour show. It went really well. Did some karaoke after. There was video of me singing some kind of a karaoke
What were you
song.
singing, sir?
I don't even remember.
Oh, boy, so that
I
many-
got
many-
pulled up like 4 or 5 times.
That many
PMS
cocktails,
Blues.
huh?
PMS
No,
Blues
no,
by
I got
Dolly
pulled
Parton.
up several times, and I was like,
okay.
I don't know, why do you like karaoke's fun if someone can kind of carry a tune. If people can't sing, it's just weird. It's just like, well, we got to sit through this for another 2.5 minutes. I'm terrible.
That's why you got to use your energy, man.
Oh, right. Well,
How
yeah,
about
you
you?
do the little talking in between lines.
You
over
got
the
to.
breaks,
And
yeah.
then you also you
Maybe
like.
people appreciate my crowd work in the karaoke. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find a song with that has some talking
Oh,
in between.
right.
By the way, I
What about that sunscreen song?
What's the
We
sunscreen?
just talk the
song?
whole time.
No.
Remember, wear sunscreen. Remember that? Boz Luhrmann
No.
in the 90s? Wasn't that his name?
I don't know.
Oh, I hope it was. Ask me who my state representative is right now.
Who is your state
Don't know.
rep? Okay.
Boz Luhrmann. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Definitely Boz Luhrmann.
Boz, is it B-O-Z?
B-A-Z.
B-A-Z. The sunscreen
Do you want to
song.
know about sunscreen?
Do I want to, like the song or the sunscreen in general?
Either.
Like SPFs? Do you use an SPF, Travis? Do you use sunscreen?
It was
I
on now.
have. I
That's what I
started-
call music too.
I started using sunscreen actually this summer when
Because
I
you got burnt in Brooklyn,
I did
didn't you?
get burnt in Brooklyn. I one of the fun things I enjoyed doing while I was up in New York was walking throughout the neighborhoods. And one day I forgot how freaking hot it was because I'm a brother and melanin.
That heat dome.
But I got caught in the heat dome. I was just walking a few blocks.
Heat
and
dome.
I got home at the end of the night and I was like, man, the top of my forehead feels like some old toast. What that about?
What'd it do?
It burned a brother. So from that
Sometimes
moment
it
forward,
Be like that.
they do apparently. Melanin lost his round to the sun, and so therefore, a brother has been getting his sunscreen. And here's what happens when black people figure out something for the first time. We cannot wait to tell everybody else about it. So I've been telling all my homies about sunscreens. Like every chance I get, they like, hey man, I'm about to run to the store real quick. Hey, put some sunscreen on. Don't leave the house without put some on your kid too. Put some sunscreen on.
Gotta use a whole bottle on that big old head of
Hey, oh boy, here you maneuver. School has already started. Why are you here?
What were you saying about my sister Melanin?
That is not your sister. I'm talking about skin.
She look a lot like me.
I don't.
She lives across the town.
Oh, that's a whole.
Dad gets nervous when she comes around Mom. too.
Well, maneuver. There are some things in life that you'll learn as you get older. Okay, don't
How
just.
old are you?
I'm-
104?
Okay, maneuver. How old are you?
Fat ass.
Now listen here, yo dumbass. Why you ain't in
Dumbass?
class? Yeah, you a
Oh,
dumbass. Your
what?
dumbass should be in class, but here you are out in these
Yeah.
stupid ass streets, dummy.
Broke ass mouth band shirt on.
Oh, broke ass mouth band. I bet you this mouth band will please your mama. Nice.
It'd be tough for you to do because Mom ain't a dude.
Oh, no, now everyone knows.
You want to hear the lyrics to Sunscreen?
No, what is this song? I've
Yes.
never heard of this song in my entire life.
I'm not
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of '99, wear sunscreen. You don't remember this? It's like
I
a
was
spoken
class
word
of
thing.
97.
What
so.
is this thing? Can we? Is there?
It was this thing-
Henry
I-
Rollins doing
No,
like spoken
it was
word?
spoken word, and it was like a beat to it. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
Please, God, don't.
But you don't remember that?
I don't think so.
I want to say Everybody's free to wear sunscreen. Baz Luhrmann. I want to say it charted. Maybe. I have no sources to back that up.
All right, Good Friday, everyone.
Official chart history for sunscreen.
Did it chart?
Oh, shit. In the UK, it was number 1.
Oh,
Wow.
is Baz Luhrmann a person or a band?
It's a person. He's Austrian.
Okay, I was going to ask if they're foreign.
Australian. Excuse me. He's a film
Oh, no.
director.
Oh no.
What's happening? Huh. Well, good for Boz.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. He did chart, and he made the Hot 100. Everybody's free to wear sunscreen. Peaked at number 45. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
How many do you have on the Hot 100, Travis?
I probably have 4 right now.
Mm.
I don't like to talk about it because I'm a pretty humble guy, as you guys know. so
4? Okay. What do you think? You're Billie Eilish?
She wishes she was me.
Does she?
Yeah.
Hey, we have a question.
I'm kind of a big deal in parts of America.
International screenwriting?
That's what they tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say anything about
What's your
I
next
know.
international project?
it. I don't know.
Oh, it's a poutine commercial.
I remember that. I don't know what my next project's going to be.
Poutine.
I'm working on a project about a couple guys who do a podcast.
Oh.
Thinking about making it a sitcom.
Oh. What are you going to call it?
Are they live?
I can't argue with that.
It's going to be a pretty sweet-ass show.
Good
I think
for
I'm
you.
just having an all-black cast, too. Have this guy named Chucky Guards. And then
Does he smoke menthols?
Chucky?
Chucky Guards. Had to change some names to protect some people's identity. Some people don't want to be on a grid.
What is this, Law and Order?
And instead of, like, crystals, he likes to play with, like, pebbles.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, he gets powers from pebbles. And
From
he
minerals?
Likes to, yeah. And instead of being a ghost hunter, he actually just hunts people who are already alive.
That's a serial killer.
Tomato, tomato.
Mm.
Tomato, tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Um,
Oh, take it away.
no, I was just going to say last
was
night.
waiting for
Where's
this.
he going?
No, I was just gonna say-
when's the anxiety kick
No,
in?
I was going to say last night the comedy was a-flowing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe how well that went. Huge
Meredith,
thanks to Jack Daniels.
Meredith was amazing. Jovan Bibbs was amazing. Nathan was amazing. Great lineup. And then it was a young up-and-comer. A young pup. A comedian, some would say.
What was his or her name?
He went by the name of Travis Terrell Gregory.
Oh, boy. What?
Yeah.
You dropped that in there.
Yeah, I
once
did.
in a
Kind of
while.
slipped it in there, didn't I?
Second time that's ever happened. First time it's ever happened on purpose.
What a delightful evening, though. What a... Yeah, tell you what, it was like watching, it was like Rodney Dangerfield, Eddie Murphy, George Carlin, and Ellen DeGeneres. What a performance from those folks last night, right? Huh? We were watching history in the making. I'm a huge fan of Jovan Bibbs. I'm
So
a
funny.
big
So
fan.
funny.
Like, I am, he is in my top 10 comedians. Period.
There you go.
He's just such a. I want the world for him. I want the world to see how incredibly funny he is. He's a great writer. He's a brilliant performer, and it really was really cool to have him as part of our first happy hour event here at our building. And you couldn't ask for a better kickoff event. As far as you had the crowd, I think people enjoyed themselves. People even stayed afterwards after the show to continue to drink and fellowship. And there were new faces. That's what I enjoyed. There were people we hadn't seen
Random
before.
people.
Random individuals. It's always great to be able to have, of course, your loyal listeners, your loyal audience show up to these events. We're always appreciative of them, but we always want to see new faces, and there were plenty of new faces last night. So we thank you all for coming out. We really do appreciate that. And congratulations to you, Mr. Dimon. You have been working your ass off for months, putting something together, getting it sponsored, and you, sir, deserve a hearty tip of the cap. It was a brilliant event, and it was a lot of fun. It
Like a
seems
mouth band tribute?
it wasn't that big.
Oh,
But
okay.
you're getting there. You're
One
getting
day.
there, Sporto.
One day.
One day. But it was a great event. You did a great job, and a salute to everyone who made it happen.
Did,
Part of the Mid-Coast Comedy Series. I was pointing to the sticker.
Yeah.
Okay. Just being clear.
Oh, yeah. I added a sticker to the collection.
How can we get one of those cool stickers, bro?
Come to Happiest Hour.
Oh.
Thursday, Sophie's. What do you guys? Listen, I know I'm going wild here, Gardner. I don't have the. This isn't. I don't know if it's on the rundown order, but for the weekend, do you guys do anything big on Labor Day weekend?
No.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Enjoy the
I'm
time.
going to be
off?
cleaning.
You gonna scoot?
Oh, yeah. I went scooting last night.
He goes, I can't make comedy. I have things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Everyone's
went
getting
scooting,
I was in Forest Park.
Good.
I went over
showing
there.
off your non-regulated speed.
I got a couple of looks from some cyclists, which, as I went by, I smirked. I felt myself smirking.
Good.
Because they're like, wait. Just going a little faster.
Oh,
than that."
they're going to tell on you.
Oh, they're going to
They're
tattle.
gonna tattle.
They're going to tattle.
Oh,
They probably
today?
tattling this morning.
Hey, big.
They tattling
They got to
their
catch
ass
me,
off.
man.
Big-
You can't catch me in that park.
You're going to be known as
Ain't
like...
no park ranger going to catch me.
You're gonna be like the dragon on How to Train Your Dragon. Like no one's ever like seen the dragon before. They just see it. They just like see like blurbs of it going by because it's so freaking fast. That's what you're gonna be. People are like, I heard about this scooter legend that comes to Forest Park and he rides faster than any vehicle in the park.
I had it up to on a decline today, coming into work. I had it up to about 28 miles per hour. Just flowing.
28.
Yeah.
Man, you
Because I was going on a decline.
roads? Where you going? You don't need roads.
It was nice. It
30
was
miles
nice.
per
I opened it up. I had found a smooth patch of road. and
30 miles per hour is
It was getting close.
It's
It,
dangerous.
It's smoking, my
was
friend,
fun.
on those things.
it was fun.
All I'm just saying is, I don't know if you've ever hit a pothole at 30 miles per hour.
Not on the scooter, no.
Okay, I would recommend you do your best to avoid
Oh, yeah.
a pothole going at that speed.
Yeah, that's going to not end up well for
That
me.
will not end up well. Your arm will probably end up in your back.
I got to tell you, I love the multi-use paths over at Forest Park, though. Because I had the scooter on that yesterday for a good amount of time. I was trying to go through different areas.
The bike lanes for you, though, right? You
Huh?
can use the bike lanes.
Yeah, that's what I'm on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to figure out why traffic in St. Louis City is just so unnecessary congested, and it is because of the bike lanes. So please utilize the hell out of those things because it annoys me that it's the reason why traffic is more congested in the city.
Yeah, you're going to have issues. And of course, they've taken away some lanes to put bike lanes in,
Yeah.
but they're trying to
They've
get
taken
bike
away a
lanes
lot
everywhere.
of lanes.
Yeah, you're trying to put bike lanes everywhere, which you probably want in an urban area.
All right, so what are they doing to make sure people get on, bikes?
I don't know.
Exactly. So you're just taking up valuable street space for cars for these dumbass bike lanes that no one's using. And you're putting them in areas
What do you mean?
where people aren't. Also, for example, around Purina, there are a vast amount of bike lanes.
Yeah.
So they've reduced, which was a highly used road that was for 2 lanes, is now down to
You
1.
talking about Shoto?
Maybe.
Okay.
But it was formerly 2 lanes. Now it's down to 1.
They did
well,
that on
everyone
Manchester
uses.
and
Well, everyone
Oakland,
needs
too.
that road to go to and from work to jump on 40, either to head out to Barnes, to head out Central West End, head out to
Yeah.
West County. Nevertheless, in order to get there, you have to take places like Shoto around Purina to get on the highway. But it's a 1-lane road.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
don't
a 2-lane.
mind-
It would have been a 2-lane road if it wasn't for the bike lane. So my thing is, there's congestion now in the mornings
Yeah,
and
but
rush hour
there was
because.
congestion there before, too.
But now it's more.
Yeah, but I'm for adding bike lanes. And I can take away lanes.
okay
here
with
and there.
adding bike-
Stay in the bike lanes then. Don't smirk and look back at me when you're not using it.
Who are you talking about?
You know the people over in South in Tower Grove.
Oh, I had a good one this morning. Big Cycling took a loss, took an L
Yeah?
from me.
You ran them over? Finally, somebody ran one
So-
over. Thank you.
I support cycling and get on your bike and ride, Queen. For sure, as I was turning, I saw him coming up real hard to the stop sign to just buzz through it. But it was my turn to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like mid lane, and I just went and I looked him right in the eye. I was like, "You stop!" And they like did a sheepish stop at the stop sign.
Yeah.
I'm all
No,
for you.
that's fair.
I'm all
It
for,
is. Well, that's
And-
what they're supposed to do.
And you made a point.
I did.
and I'm all for you
Eye
pissing off.
contact.
I'm all for you pissing off cyclists. So yes, do that.
I'm not
But
trying
I
I'm
don't
not
want to be
trying
mistaken for the guys that throw a can at them and tell them to get off
Yeah.
the road. Like, that's not what I
I
want to
guess
do.
in a way I'm trying to piss them off in a way. But all I'm really wanting is just equality. That's all.
Amen.
Needed to be said.
Don't regulate me without regulating others.
And
That's
isn't it-
all.
and isn't
Because
it-
when I was on the multi-use path yesterday, I found a spot that was a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, there's some twists and turns and curves, and I made sure that there was no one in the area at the time. But I let loose at that point, and kind of took some turns. It was a little tight. I almost went off at one point off the path because I took it too fast trying to go.
I'm trying to be cute.
I'm trying to.
Trying to
I want
impress
to
the
see what I
ladies.
can do.
I
I want to see
understand.
what I can do.
I
I'm
get
gonna
it.
get hurt at some point.
I mean, you don't have to.
I don't have to, but I'm kind of having fun pushing it right
Oh
now.
boy, calm down.
I got to
Tony
tell you,
Hawk.
I'm enjoying pushing it right
Relax.
now. I'm gonna cross a line at some point,
Calm down, Travis Pastrana.
and we'll see what happens. But over by Steinberg and over by the lake over there,
Look at you.
you can
You-
weave. Oh, just weaving through
you
there.
were
is
really
wow.
all up in Forest
Oh yeah, I
Park.
went over to the History Museum. Over by the History
Damn.
Museum and
I guess if you're going 30 miles per hour, you can get around that park pretty quickly.
sat
can't
by
you?
the Muni, smoked a couple cigarettes before I got back on, head back home.
Isn't it frustrating though that the city responded so quickly to how fast scooters were going in Forest Park before they addressed
really
perhaps
weird.
that whole gun situation
knew
in the
you were
area?
going with
Yeah.
No, it's okay. The soccer team will take up the responsibility of gun ownership.
Just
Travis, right?
the expediency in which they address how fast scooters were going inside the park.
Yeah.
Yet,
Well,
that whole, let's see if we can get our leaders back into session to discuss a incredibly growing crime epidemic in our city that's absolutely killing young people.
Mhm.
But the scooters are fast. Let's slow them down, Chris.
Well, they
Let's
seem-
slow the scooters down.
the thing is, they seem to have a solution in mind there.
Ah,
Is the
interesting.
difference. Where in the other case, there's really not. They might have one idea at this point, maybe, and maybe a couple, and then they're just not sure how to implement them.
I think
So
I don't have I don't say I have a solution that will completely eradicate some of the issues, but I would love to see, and this is where I said I think other businesses can be involved, like the Worldwides and the Parinas. I would love to see maybe a very extensive, large gun buyback program. And I think, I'm not saying that's going to get all the guns off the streets, but I would have loved to see,
what, like forcing it though, or
like, I mean, just incentivizing people to turn in their guns,
okay,
specifically in the St. Louis City area. There have been gun buyback programs that have worked in similar urban areas like St. Louis. I would love to maybe see an attempt. And again, I'm not saying that's going to completely clean up the streets, but it's again one
it
of the
won't. is the
it won't.
answer.
But I think it's better than I don't know.
Well, no, they're trying to implement the one, I guess, overarching plan that that cure or whatever, which I'm interested to know more about.
They say the mediation zones are working, where it's a conflict resolution zones, something essentially where if parties are having an issue, they come together. There's a mediation.
So they like shoot at each other in this one
That's not
area.
how it's
so it's
specifically-
closer
no,
where
it's
you're
not
more.
how it works. But essentially, it's a way to, hey, let's clear the air before it escalates, and it actually has worked in some urban cities. I believe they've used it in Miami. I believe they've used it in LA. So there are cities. I think they've tried it in Chicago to mixed results, but it has produced some solutions. I guess what I'm ultimately saying to wrap up my point is that those are the things I had in mind when I say you can bring in the powers that be here in St. Louis together. That wouldn't necessarily require political wrangling
would
in order
say
for it to
this.
be a thing.
Here's, I think my main point for me at this moment is try things. If they fail, I'm okay with that, right?
Yes, and I think
And,
that's
and if you're spending money and they fail, I'm gonna have to be okay with that right now.
absolutely.
But doing nothing is not an option.
Doing nothing is not an option. That's ultimately what I'm saying. And that's
I'm
why
okay with failing and trying to do something.
And to that point, I think we talked about this about a week ago. But I think this is where you kick and scream. This is where you talk to your aldermen. This is where you talk to your representatives. You go, hey, we open the newspaper every day. We need you guys to put pressure on either the folks in Jeff City or this governor.
And they're starting to.
And then it's starting to build. But this is where the people have to truly, stand up and say, you can't just say that the pro tem, I think the Senate pro tem for the state of Missouri said, I think last week, we just don't have a solution. So we elect you to come up with this.
Yeah,
That's what we send you to,
this is where
to
you
the
hold-
Capitol for, to
this is-
come up with solutions.
This is where you hold elected officials accountable.
Exactly. So I hope people do that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
It's exactly the situation where you hold people accountable.
San Antonio, they recently did one to positive results.
And maybe that's involved in that cure program that they've been talking about here recently, trying to implement. Or at least the city's doing like an emergency implementation, but to fully do it, they're going to need funding from the state.
Yeah.
Which is why they've asked the state to go into a special session, and Governor Parson quickly rejected that idea because they're already going to be in special session to make sure rural folk can buy cars properly.
And then didn't they do the special session a year ago for the abortion bill that was just recently rejected by a federal judge?
Maybe. I don't recall exactly. Because
Okay.
there was a lot going on with that one.
There was, and then of course, and the whole Greitens thing. It was just a lot in general going on.
I don't
in Jeff
recall
City.
what the special session would have been last year.
Yeah. I just think, guys, you're not. They're fishing. They're hunting. You're not doing anything right now.
Well, Governor Parson was recently in St. Louis, in an urban area. And St. Louis City, I should say, to clarify. Obviously an urban area. But meeting with people, I think in North St. Louis, like around Hamilton, and I can't remember the other cross street. But took like a tour of that area with someone, a CEO of an organization.
Mm-hmm.
That's trying to make streets better. And they're walking around, and Governor Parson, and I'm paraphrasing here, asked where people go to the grocery store. And the guy looked at him and quickly shot back, they don't have one.
Mm.
And so it kind of explains maybe people outside even of the St. Louis area are out of touch with the issues within the city limits, possibly don't care.
I know it's not a don't
Possibly
care.
have not really gone to populous areas to maybe they don't think they're going to get votes there anyway, so they just don't consider it that much. They obviously they're ignorant, very ignorant. Our state leaders are at high levels are very ignorant.
I think they're willfully.
And willfully so too, because of what I just said there. They're not going to get votes.
But my thing is, especially in some of the conservative pockets of the state, like you're going to win it anyway. You have a supermajority. If you're a Republican, short of beating your wife and mistress, you're going to get reelected. And even then, you probably may get an extra few votes if you did that. So it's not as if you supporting gun control in St. Louis and Kansas City is going to lose you favor with your own base. Because you're not talking about your neighbors. You're talking about a city that's hundreds of miles away. So why do you give a damn if they have guns or not?
Right. Which is why city leaders have started asking the state, hey, can you let us try and go this a little
Right.
bit?
And that's what Lyda Cruzen recently introduced, saying like, hey, can we at least discuss St. Louis? And I think if you are...
Or let us try and do something on our own if you're not going to help out.
Exactly. And leave
Because
yes.
St. Louis has done things on their own before, and the state has rejected it, like the
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage. And then the state gets involved. So people, and rightfully so at times, piss on St. Louis city leaders for how they act.
They
for what
definitely
they
deserve
do.
their moments.
But there are times where we've tried to do things, and then the bigger government, the state government, gets involved and won't allow it. So, I mean, It's tough.
Maybe that ultimately is the solution. Maybe it's just simply as, hey, can you guys just let us do our thing? In the meantime, when it comes to this particular issue, we're not saying open up the gate when it comes to minimum wage or any other issues that you're stuck on. But that's what I'm talking about as far as being reasonable. This is where the reasonableness comes in. If you are a person who may even have conservative views, you don't think that's reasonable to at least allow Kansas City and St. Louis to address a serious epidemic? You can't ignore what we've been seeing. You can't sit up here and say you didn't see the story on the 7-year-old child getting shot, the 8-year-old child getting shot, the 12-year-old child getting shot. You know it's happening. So it isn't just a bunch of liberals sitting around in a think tank just making up these incidents. We see them in the paper every day. So why not just say, you know what, St. Louis, you know the issue better than most. I live in Bonne Terre. I live in Farmington. I don't know what those cops face every day.
There are thousands of other cities. You just say those.
Joplin.
Wow.
I'll throw Joplin in there. St. Joe. But there are other places that you're just not familiar with what goes on in the city of Kansas City and the city of St. Louis. Can you at least allow those representatives to at least help their own citizens? I think that's reasonable.
If the president sometimes has people pee on him, why can't our city leaders? That's from the Triangle Assassin.
It's my fault. God, I knew it. I knew it when I had said it.
Oh, man.
Answer the question.
I will not.
I would like you to. I think Triangle Assassin deserves an answer. Don't you?
I ain't peeing on nobody.
Okay.
I thought about it. No, I haven't.
Oh,
I've
no,
not. I will say I've never thought about peeing on anybody or spitting on anything. Like, I don't like spitting on people is just vile. I've been. I think everybody's been pissed off. You've been pissed off to the point where you wanted to spit on someone, though.
I've spit on people.
Yeah.
You've spit on people.
I spit on my
What?
I spit on my little brother.
What?
I was naked at the time.
He told the story.
Yeah, when he pissed on me.
How old were you?
I don't remember.
Ugh.
Was it our
But he
first
pissed on
time?
you. Why did he pee on you?
Because we had one bathroom in the house. He had to go to the bathroom. I was naked, getting ready to take a shower, and I was using the bathroom, sitting on the toilet before I got in the
Why
shower.
didn't you just let him get in the bathroom, Chris?
Because I was using the bathroom already.
Man, but he had to pee.
I was sitting on the toilet.
Oh, okay.
Can you not listen?
Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you was getting in the bathroom.
No, I was going to after I was done. And then
He peed on you.
we lived on 17 acres of land. He could have gone outside on the side of the house. And he pissed all over my chest. I screamed, ran out of the bathroom, tackled him to the ground, started spitting on his face. My dad threw me off him because my dad walked in, didn't know what the hell was going on, assumed it was my fault,
Right.
threw me into the couch. I'm naked, got thrown in the couch, got piss all over me.
Oh.
And then my dad,
How do
I
you not
explained
remember
what
this?
happened, and my dad said, "Why would he pee on you?" And I'm like, "You don't believe me?" And I ran to the back, and we had the 3 diamond-shaped glass windows and the back wood door.
Is that when you punched it?
And I was gonna punch it, and then I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to punch it like this," and I went like that, and then bam, and now I have a scar on my wrist from when it went.
Oh, that's
The blood
hilarious.
started spurting out.
Yeah, I would be upset. I would be upset too.
So yeah, I spit on my brother.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good example of why you would spit on someone. Chris, what do you have to offer?
Oh, just frat individual.
Oh, God, you're an adult.
these
Oh,
things.
God, you're a young adult. Sweet Jesus. At least he was a child, man.
Oh.
At least it was a sibling. You just spit on a stranger.
Well, I mean, the follow-up punches are pretty
Oh, God, and then you physically fought the individual.
it was bad. It was bad.
Damn, Chris, you spitting on people, dog?
It was definitely a this ought to get him going. This will engage him.
Sweet Jesus, man.
It's not my proudest
Who
moment.
are you?
What is your proudest moment?
Ooh, happiest hour on every Thursday.
I was hoping
Oh,
that
Yeah,
was it.
there you
that
go.
was good.
You know what
I've
else
ne-
that makes me proud?
What is that, Chris?
Farmington Fall Festival.
You know what?
I knew it was
right.
coming.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Barbecue, Brews, Brews, Barbecue. That's right. FarmingtonFallFest.com is their website. September 20th and 21st. Guess who's the MC?
Carly.
That's right.
Lauren.
Carly Lawrence, in-game host for St. Louis Blues. Blues, Brews, and
B3.
Barbecue. Head on down. They're only an hour south of Farmington. Check them out. Very good time. Lots of great events like a barbecue contest. They got a craft beer garden, all kinds of entertainment. Be sure to hop on down to Farmington September 20th and 21st. Hang out, have a good time. I'm going to be there. Gardner might be there in the craft booth with the other 57-year-old women that look just like him from mine.
Now, Chris, I have to ask a question.
No.
Can a brother like me go?
Can.
I don't like your tone in that.
I'm about to say,
Notice how it got higher pitched as he went on.
you can try. You can.
See, he said a brother like me.
But you know what? He says that, Travis says that to me when I ask if I can go to a certain restaurant around here to get something.
That is true.
Like, hey,
I don't know how it's going to, I don't want to.
And I don't want to say the name of the place, but I'll say, hey, do you think I could go over to so-and-so? It's a couple blocks away. He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you have to go with me for me to go?
Right. Do I need passage?
It seems like I need you to go with
for
me.
somebody that screams about places not being inclusive, he sure knows a hell of a lot of places that aren't very inclusive.
No, I say you can go to these establishments. I don't know how people will respond to you being there.
Tom
So,
Brown's high school biology teacher used to spit on his entire class. He didn't really mean to, but the class is like a shower. Man, I feel that like there's nothing worse than a high schooler. Like they're middle schoolers, I guess. But man, the things that we would recognize about our teachers and then use against them and make fun of them and it was daily conversation about how a guy would stare at one point of the room. What would you do if you had to recite the same stuff 3 to 5 hours a day to a bunch of idiots that don't want to be there? Like, you just lock in and get it done, right? Like, you just ride it out till you
Get to
retire.
happy hour.
Yeah, happiest hour. There it is.
I ain't gonna lie, teaching is hard. Teaching just looks just.
My mom did it for 27 years.
What did
God
you teach?
bless her.
She started in special education.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Do you have any tips on how to deal with Travis?
And not to be funny, but this was before, like,
Those
I would
people
have.
deserve awards.
Yeah, and not only that, your mother, I would imagine, started before we had studies and protocols and methods that would make it easier today on teachers who work with special ed students. So
I don't know where it
would.
was at that point. I'd have to ask her. It was the first 10 years of her teaching career. I believe.
Jeez,
So
that's your first decade of teaching.
She did 10 years. of that.
Unbelievable.
And then she went into like 6th grade geography, history type.
Her patience meter must be like
I've been told.
secret agent.
I've been told that consistently at one point, some of the kids thought she was one of the meanest teachers around. And I'm like, meanest? Really? I'm like, you guys have no idea how to deal with her. And they're like, because I would go up to her class every once in a while, and I just look around, and I'm like, and I would hear her sometimes when I'm walking up to the hall, and she's a yeller. And I could hear her yelling at the kids, and I walked in laughing, and they're like, you could see them frightened, and I'm like, they have no clue. Like, if they knew her a little better, you just got to know how to turn it on her a little. Because she couldn't even ground me when I was younger. It's part of why I turned out the way I did. And I learned that very quickly, because I was so annoying.
That's hilarious.
They didn't want me around after a certain.
Where did you develop this annoying gene, though? What happened? What made you into the gardener that you are today? Because I know, like, we know the story of the park benches and the cemeteries, but I feel like, what is the origin story of one Chris Gardner? What was the moment? What was your Batman moment where you fell down a well and then the bats were around you and you were afraid and you decided to become what you fear the most?
I just wanted to mix it up. I wanted to have fun. I find it fun.
But no, something. It had to have been a girl. It had to have been somebody you were attracted to. It had to have been something that you saw. You saw a cool kid at school performing.
Trying to, like,
was it
if
something
you
on
wanna-
TV?
It'd have to be. No, I don't think so. I might need a therapy session to figure it out.
I think we should. Maybe we
trying
should
to
make that a
think.
segment on the show.
Like,
where we do a therapy session.
I
construct-
used to play
Gardener?
doctor a lot when I was younger.
Oh,
The
boy.
neighbor girl.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. I got caught on the tube slide in kindergarten.
Oh,
my
no.
pants down.
No, Gardner. I mean,
Dad
maybe
caught me
save
in the
this for
closet
the off
with
the
her.
air.
All
right.
But it didn't really matter because, like, I would just go on the sidewalk. It did well. But also, to allow myself some leeway here, I was allowed when I was like 4, when we lived like in Winter Park, Florida.
Right.
I would go to the beach every day with my mom. My dad would work. And I would just take all my clothes off and run around naked and play with He-Man figures. So I was used to being naked down there. I was naked a lot down
You're okay with being vulnerable.
there. And maybe not so much anymore.
Ooh. Nice.
I can't deal with this anymore. Will you guys interview Lisa Guerrero and Country Wayne later?
Speaking of St. Louis Counseling Services.
Oh, wow. What's their website?
Travis?
St. Louis Counseling in the Google box.
stlouiscounseling.org. Online, you can see all the resources, improving lives since 1955. St. Louis Counseling has school programs, counseling for individuals, and more. That's right. They work with all types of insurance. Their services are fantastic. I've personally recommended now almost 10 people to them. I will not give out names. I think that's illegal.
Probably.
But
Probably some
I
HIPAA
can't
laws
say enough
violating
good
that.
things about what they've done and how they help folks. So check them out, and be sure to check out Mental Health Matters online. Subscribe to the podcast today. That's right, stlouiscounseling.org online. Travis, we've got Labor Day weekend, which somehow snuck up. I do want to talk more about Seattle. You're going to be up there. Speaking of Seattle, your boys at Amazon,
What do they do now?
oh, they're working with the popo, with the fuzz, if you will.
Oh man, I
That's,
saw this story the other day and it did not make me feel good. But then again, that's just the news today. Amazon has apparently been working with over 400 police departments across the country. You know those video cameras that are attached to people's door,
The Ring?
the Ring. And so a lot of people have been installing these for security purposes in their house. It's very useful because you can see from your own phone who's at your door when you're not home, or even when you are home. You know what's going on at your front door before having to approach it. And it is one of those things that have taken off over the last couple of years and are in a lot of residential areas. Well, apparently, Amazon, who owns Ring, is teaming up with 400 or so police departments around the country to ultimately develop what appears to be a very large surveillance net. Now, they'll argue, of course, that this is for security purposes, to help maybe police officers solve crimes that may take place in the area. But Big Brother is expanding in a big way. Chris, are you concerned?
Yeah, I mean, it gets down to that where it's just at the end of the day, the people, whether they're called police or watchers or whatever you want to say, they're still people, and then that gets misused. Like, you have to trust law enforcement or military or whatever to do certain things, but if people don't know that this is happening, I think that's kind of that's dirty pool. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not smart for them. Like, they have to do these things, right? Like,
No,
they
they
always
don't.
have.
No,
Well,
they don't.
They have to push the envelope, I should say. I'm not saying that they should do this in particular, but I don't know. They are a never-ending forward motion machine, and I don't know how that ever stops, slows down, or anything. It sucks. I mean, overall.
We were
it's-
going to get here.
Well, yeah.
We're
I
going
mean,
to
they've
get past
right,
here.
Yeah,
and
so-
and
Very
like
true.
you
We
could
were on this
argue
path for a while.
if the Patriots or whomever, if you're not pushing that cheating edge, then you're going to get lapped, right? So if they're pushing boundaries on what they can do to prevent or stop crime, maybe they lose that. But then you get into the thing where it's just like we're just not capable as humans or whatever technology we have to. You can mathematically predict a lot of stuff with statistics and all that good stuff. For sure, 1,000,000%. But then at a certain point, there's diminishing returns of what you're doing, right? Then you're trying to
I think
mold and
the
shape,
use
and
of
then
statistics is the best way to go about it.
right. And
Um,
I'm sure that's what their thought process is with this.
I guess the question starts becoming, what is an acceptable public space? Because these are private areas, right?
Right.
So you don't.
Like that should
there's-
bother everybody.
There's privacy issues involved in this. I would think. And maybe I'm missing something, but where's privacy expected? Where is it not expected? Like if you have it on a public street, a camera there, you don't have an expectation of privacy there. You just don't.
No.
And so, yeah, cameras could go anywhere. And I know where I hang out, Central West End, the guy who owns that block, he owns my local watering hole. He's got 30 cameras on his block alone. The police come to him for footage, like once a week. Hey, something happened. We need to say, can we get somebody? He's like, yeah, sure. They come to him, but that's his choice to put that on his private property. So it's not even covered by the city at that point. But maybe that helps in a way where they don't have to invest money on cameras there because they know a private citizen is doing it upon themselves. So he should be recognized for what he's doing to help the city and also try to help the businesses and the residents on his block. But once you start, that's someone knowing what's going on, though. And then if you're on a public street, you should know that you have no expectation of privacy there. So you know that. I doubt the people buying these rings, whatever they're called, had the knowledge that this is a possibility.
That was happening.
Yeah. So that's where it gets shady. Is you have to at least give people the knowledge of what might be or could be, and then allow them to make a decision at that point. It is bullshit to not do that to someone and then, pull the rug out from under them in a way. Just 'cause, whoa, what's going on here? Now, I will look forward to possibly if, there's leaked footage of hilarious things happening and while crimes are happening.
Right.
I like that. That makes me laugh.
Fresno PD's best of raid.
Yeah. And maybe they make money off that. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's like a blooper reel.
Sure. People slipping on banana peels.
Now,
and
if you're able to do that and maybe monetize that and put more cameras out in public spaces, then okay, fine.
Here's a promotional maybe moment for both the police and Ring partnership. Over 2 weeks ago, a Ring surveillance cam helped police capture a man who had escaped from a Tennessee prison and allegedly killed a prison employee. In that case, a couple awoke at 3:30 a.m. to a Ring alert saying that a man was on their property. They looked at the camera footage and recognized the man, Curtis Watson, and called police, officials said. Search teams were on the scene in minutes and arrested Watson. So that is perhaps some of the examples you would imagine the folks at Amazon and the police departments will ultimately release. They're going to say
but that's a private citizen being involved and the owner of that camera being involved too. My question is when they're not involved, that's the area.
And I think that's the ultimate.
Did you side with Iron Man or not?
That it is the question that was posed in Civil War.
What was it?
It was essentially who controls where.
How do you protect?
How do you protect?
And what do you give up?
And who has the authority to decide when and where that protection should go? So, for example, Tony Stark wanted there to be oversight, whereas Captain America's like, bro, I'm Captain America, and I even know America's too corrupt for this type of power. And that's...
So is Captain America GOP?
Captain America is woke. That's the fun part about this movie. The guy that's Captain America is actually the woke one.
But he wanted no regulations.
He wanted no regulations. He wanted no government oversight.
Oh.
Shit. Cap is a Republican.
So that's what I'm asking.
Rats! But I think in this instance, I think if there's a case by case, certainly. But to develop a network, that's the scary thing because that's too much autonomy.
Well,
that's too much power.
I know the police departments are involved, but this isn't necessarily government oversight we're talking about. This is a private company taking upon oversight, which is a little uncomfortable as well.
It's very uncomfortable because, to your point, Gardner, you're exactly right. We were heading towards this anyway.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen.
This was going to happen in some fashion, and now that it is indeed here, I just hope those who own rings or whatever type of product that they use, and I understand for having it for your own security. I'm not saying that people shouldn't have this for their homes. I think it's a great asset to have to protect your home. It's affordable. It's, again, something that, we know, especially here in the St. Louis area, how high burglaries are, how home invasions are high here in this area. So I would absolutely support this for anyone. My fear is that putting it in the hands of people who have a terrible track record when it comes to privacy issues. Like this, the government and the police have an extensive track record of being incredibly corrupt when it comes to privacy issues. And they are indeed people. So they're going to do what they can in their best interest. That's when the fear comes about, and I think that's a legitimate fear in 2019 especially.
Well, as we continue down this path, if you're an attorney looking for like a niche, I think privacy law might be the way to go.
Agreed.
If you're like getting out there and saying, okay, what can I? If there's an area I could focus on.
Yeah.
Exploit.
For both.
Yeah.
Like that might be the way because I don't see this slowing down. There's going to be a lot of conversations about it to try and figure out. I don't think anyone knows exactly what is the right call.
I think you're right.
That's why there's going to be a lot of talk about it because they're going to try and wade into those waters and figure what it might look like to society, to people.
And I think we need to start having this conversation pretty quickly because you look at the drone technology. Now that's accessible. You can go to Walmart right now, spend $200, get yourself a drone that can fly around people's backyards, it can fly atop people's roofs. I think this conversation is going to happen pretty fast, and I think local governments are going to have to step up quickly to address it because, again,
it's been ongoing. We've been distracted with other things.
Yeah, well, that whole the melting polar caps, that's kind of freaking a lot of people out, rightfully so. But I think, it's scary. I'm not going to lie. Like, I have friends who own drones, and they fly it over the neighborhood, and I'm just like, hey, man, I don't know if some of your neighbors care for your drone to be flying to the second floor of their home or their backyard, and I would have a problem if I'm chilling with my family in my backyard and I hear a zzz flying above my home. It's time we have these, not only just the conversation, but find some solutions. This network, I'm not feeling that at all. I ain't trying to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, boys in blue. I know you're doing your best, but you guys don't have the best track record when it comes to handling people's privacy and
right. But the case you cited there, that's a good example of a citizen.
It's almost like a citizen arrest.
Like that's good. That's how it should work in concert like that, right?
Right.
But the fear is that it goes beyond that. Now that is a good example, and that's what you said. They said this could be positive PR for them. Yes, because that's how it should work. The fear, the paranoia comes from where does it go next?
Yes.
And the uncertainty will bring you paranoia.
I think it's just, I think maybe back in the day we used to say things, especially after 9/11. What was the prominent thing to say? Well, if you got nothing to hide, then what you worry about? I think we now know well enough, well, we probably knew well enough then, but certainly now, just based on the authorities' track record, that no, I'm not going to just simply allow you to use my privacy to justify your means.
Yeah, it has to be provided.
It has to be provided to you. And so in this instance, yes, you're right. In this individual case, they saw somebody who the police were looking for. They spotted him, and they called the cops. But as we've seen over this past year, we've seen where there have been non-criminals doing non-illegal things, or they're not doing anything illegal, and people still calling the cops.
Now
that's when I get worried when people.
I'm going to give you a hypothetical and kind of tie it into just a little bit onto what we were touching on with some of the issues with gun violence in St. Louis earlier. But let's use like this ring thing. Mm-hmm. Let's say a crime happens and a murder happens, and it's caught on one of these cameras. But one of the issues, and it's been well stated by a number of parties, one of the issues in St. Louis is it's when a violent crime, a murder happens, whether it be a kid or an adult, the no snitch policy, right, on the street. Like, just keep it to yourself, keep it in the streets, we'll figure it out. And not really, no witnesses coming forward.
Right.
So what if someone has one of these cameras and something like terrible like that happens and it's caught on there?
Yeah.
It's their camera though, right?
Yeah.
But they know that if they provide information, provide details, that it could come back on them.
Exactly.
And but everyone knows what's there. Like, what then? Like, that's a hypothetical. Because I'm trying to like show you.
I can absolutely understand where you're coming from with that one. Yeah.
Like where there's going to be complications.
Absolutely.
Where you think like, hey, this should be sewn up. This should be easy decision.
Right.
That's not. If someone else fears for their life by providing information and providing details, how do you handle that?
That's a very good question because I would imagine
who are you to tell them how? I mean, it's not just yeah, here's how it is.
Right.
That's not how that conversation goes. You have to explore different issues, and it might be particular to whoever you might be dealing with, or whoever you might be accusing, or whatever. Like
And that and that's a very good question. I think that is again where lawmakers have to step in. I don't know how that would work because you're right. I think if you were especially trying to introduce that as evidence at someone's
or
trial,
even say, "Hey, give that to us." And they're like,
Right.
We can't give that to you because I might end up dead.
and essentially, yeah, and even if they were to find a way for the person to it's going to come out whether it's during the charging process or during the trial where they got that camera footage from. They're going to have to present it to a jury to say,
Like,
we
this
got
is-
it from Chris Denman, we got it from this address, so I don't know how you work around that. And that's a very good question, though. I
And that's
see
what
what
I'm
you're saying because
it's a
I would,
hypothetical,
Right.
but it's just a hypothetical that
I don't know.
I think where there's going to be conversations, obviously, where there aren't easy answers or clear answers.
Witness intimidation, especially in the city of St. Louis, is why a large bulk of these crimes go unsolved and a large reason why the crimes continue to be committed. I don't know how you address that. Honestly, I wish there was something like, and I think it's a discussion that takes place in urban communities, black communities, community in large, when you have witness intimidation, and I don't know the right answer for that because unfortunately there have been numerous cases in our very city of witnesses coming forward and those witnesses' lives being put in jeopardy. So that is again along with a long list of things that I hope our lawmakers are willing to step up and address.
Gardner's going to address a menthol. We'll take a break.
Yeah,
It's Chris Denman, Travis Terrell, and we'll take a break here on We Are Live. We'll be back on the other side with Sam Lyons.
Ow!